Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Monday. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Keep or Yeet. This is part 2 to picking Holdback Crested Geckos. I made a video a couple months ago, and if you haven't seen that, you should definitely check it out, where we went through 12 different geckos and whether or not I would keep them or if I would sell them off. So today, as promised, we're doing part 2 to that. We're going to see how things have progressed as they've gotten bigger, and we're going to see if I would do the same as I would back in that video, and if I would keep them or if I would sell them. So, without further ado, let's jump right into our first gecko. I'm going to play back a short clip from that video for each animal so you can get a little bit of what I said, and then we'll see how things have changed. If you'd like to see the full video again, that'll be down below in the description. And it's got a nice coverage on its legs, pretty good head structure. So this one's definitely a keep for me. And we're going to remember the pattern structure on the lily white here because we're going to come back to another one later. So as you can see, gecko number 1, our little lily white here, has really changed and really blossomed and turned to such a nice animal. It was a little bit more brown in that video, the white hadn't spread as much, and now the white's super crisp, the base is super dark, which even surprised me a little bit. And so for gecko number 1, I still think it's a keep. This is definitely going to be a nice animal, and these geckos now in this video are anywhere from like 18 grams or less. In the original video they were like 5 grams or less, so they're a little bit bigger. This one will continue to progress and get even nicer. It's got some nice white spots, but I'm guessing this is just going to be an average looking harlequin as it gets bigger. So I don't think this one's ever going to turn into anything too crazy. So I would probably yeet this little guy. Gecko number 2 here still looks about the same. You can see it's gotten a little bit darker and it looks a little bit cooler than it did initially, but this is still one where I had said that I would yeet it before, and I still think this is going to have to be a yeet now for me. It's cool, but just something I wouldn't keep, unfortunately. As far as base colors go, I'm guessing it's going to be a darkish brown color as it gets older. I don't think it'll ever be a black based animal, but still a pretty nice gecko nonetheless. This is gecko number 3. I'm going to say we put this one in the keep pile for now. As you can see, gecko number 3 has also had a little bit of a glow up here. It stayed a little bit darker, but I would consider this more of a light based animal, kind of like I suggested in the video. I said to keep it for now to see how it progressed back then, and this is something that you could keep if you needed an extreme harlequin or a harlequin, but unfortunately for me, I think this is something I would yeet. It's still pretty nice and has definitely grown up and turned into a nicer animal, just not something I would hold on to. This one is very similar to the last one, a little bit more pattern, although it is slightly bigger. Again, same things that I mentioned with last one. I'm going to put this one in the keep pile. Gecko number 4 I said was about the same as our lavender back there in the original video, and I would say number 4 has actually gotten nicer than I expected. I didn't expect it to get this nice. It's got more of a darker base. It's got some nice cream in there. It did lose its tail, as you can see, this little frog butt, but it is a good looking animal, and this one I said to keep for now as well, just like our last one, and I think this is one I might actually keep. We'll have to see. Obviously still time to grow, and then a lot of this comes down to if it's male or female. If it's male, I'll probably yeet it. If it's female, I might keep it. We'll see. I don't think it'll ever be an extreme harlequin. It's not a perfect pinstripe. It has some nice little cream spots coming in on the sides, but I don't think this is ever going to be a super crazy animal. So I would probably yeet this one as well. Gecko number 5. Is it just exactly how I expected it to turn out? It didn't really get any better, honestly. In the initial clip, I said it was going to be kind of brown, not an extreme and not a full pin, and it's basically the same now. So this is one that I said to yeet before, and I'm going to say we're going to yeet it now. If they have more of an extreme harlequin looking pattern, then they can, but a lot of the lily whites have this where they have that kind of thick bar, and that's about it. The majority of those, I would say, never really spread up to the dorsal all the way. Yeah, they spread up a little bit more, but never anything super crazy. Now this one might throw me for an oddball. I think this one might be red in the future. It's hard to say since it's smaller, but it has that kind of tan color, but I'm going to say probably not red. I would say keep this one as a maybe, number 6. Gecko number 6 was our beautiful lily white here, and if you remember from the original video, I was kind of talking about pattern structure and pattern shape and how I thought this one wouldn't really spread so much, and it didn't, basically. The white definitely did get brighter though. The base got a little bit darker, and that's the other thing I was questioning. Is I was unsure if it was going to be a red base. It looks like I was right. It's kind of just a brown base. It's not going to get red. I do really like this one, but it's definitely looking male. So this one's also 100% Het Phantom. I may keep it. It's pretty cool, I think. Crisp, Nice crisp white, pretty much a solid dorsal. We'll have to see about this one. This one's a maybe right now. This one's going to be nice. Trust me, this one's going to be really nice, especially as it gets older. That cream is really going to spread and really grow, and this one's going to be a stunner animal. It would be silly to let this one go compared to the other ones that we already held back. So if you were to keep one out of the other two that we looked at, keep this one and sell your other two. Gecko number 7 I said was going to be the nicest extreme of them all, and I would say that is still true to this day. This one was a keep back then, and I think we're going to still have to keep it now. Even though I'm not keeping a lot of extremes, it might change, but if I was breeding and I was looking for extremes, this would be the one I would definitely keep. Like I said, these geckos still have a ways to go to fully progress, and this one is definitely the nicest out of the bunch that we looked at, so I would definitely keep this one if I was keeping any of them at all. Red phantoms all hatch out kind of a dark brown color, and they either turn lighter as they get older, like I'm talking older as in like 5 to 8 grams, 5 to 10 grams. Usually the ones that are a lighter tan tend to be brighter red is what I found. However, you can get some that are dark brown and stay dark brown but then turn really dark red. So it's very, very hard to distinguish. Gecko number 8 was kind of dark brown in the original video, and it's really gotten a lot more red as you can see. Unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to be a nice bright red, but this is again one we'd have to hold on to and see. The thing about phantoms is they usually don't get their full color until like 15 to 30 grams. Well, 15 grams they should be starting to get about as red as they're going to be, and then by 30 grams they're pretty much at their full potential. So I might have to hold on to this one. He's got a nice head. And similar to Gecko number 9, which is also another red phantom, couldn't get it to fire up for this video. In the original it was kind of tan. You can see it's kind of a tan now. I think this one might be the nicer of the two just because it's a lighter tan and those tend to be brighter red. We'll have to wait and see on these. I would put them both in the keep category just for now until I can see which one's more red, and then I'll probably yeet whichever one isn't as red. Generally on an animal like this, if you were breeding reds together, I would say that this one will never be a bright red. Because what I've really noticed is that light tan color, the lighter their base color is, if they're, from red parents, it seems the brighter red they are. If they have, the darker it is, usually they're either darker red or muddy based. So this one I would say is going to be a muddy based animal. And that's kind of unfortunate, even though it has the nice white spots, not the full pin, but this one could really surprise me and turn around and become a really nice red base. We'll just have to wait and see. Gecko number 10 was another interesting one. I didn't think it was going to be red. I thought it was going to be muddy based, and I was exactly right. I think it's still a muddy base. I don't personally consider this a red. I made a little post on Instagram about this and on Facebook asking people if they would call this red or not. It was pretty split. Some people said no, some people said yes. So I personally don't consider this to be red. This is just muddy to me, and it looks like I was right. I originally said keep for now to see if it'll be red, but now given that it's not red, this is definitely a yeet. I would say this one might get some cream in it, nice little pattern going on, but it's never going to be a full coverage extreme harlequin. I would definitely yeet this one if I didn't have the option of growing them all up. Gecko number 11 was a little flame that I said might get a little bit more cream, and it definitely did. And actually this is one of the ones that, even though it's not super crazy, had kind of a nice little glow up there. It's got some more cream, pretty cool creamy dorsal, not crazy or anything. I said I was going to yeet it then, and I'd still probably yeet it now, but it definitely did get nicer. This is one I would definitely keep over the last one, just because even though the pattern isn't there, the color is, or the possible color and pattern is. So I would definitely hold on to this one compared to the last one. This is Gecko number 12. And finally, Gecko number 12. This one I said to hold on to compared to the last one, just because it looked like it had more cream, and it definitely does have more cream, as you can see. But this is one that I thought would get a little bit better than it did. Granted, it's still small, so I might keep it for a little while, but this is one that I'm guessing I'm probably going to end up yeeting as well. So that's going to wrap up our picking Holdback Crested Geckos. Unfortunately, we're getting up to my spring sale time, so I can't give them any more time to develop because some of them are going to be getting yeeted, and I got to sell them. So that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully between this one and the last one, it helped you out kind of maybe judging some of your own animals and whether or not they're worth keeping. And you can see the development in these 12 from last year. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video or maybe like to see another keep or yeet for another year, let me know down below in the comments. I really enjoyed doing this, and I think it's just cool seeing how the geckos progress. But with that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.